Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to all my fellow friends, my lecturer, Madam Hilyati. Okay, for today I would like to share with you about my topic presentation, perception and attribution. So, before I start, let me to introduce myself and my friend. So, firstly, my name is Muhammad Rafiq Iqbal bin Razak, and my friends Muhammad Faiz Nazmi bin Fazli, Nur Azrina binti Nordin, Nur Atirah Adila binti Hussein, Muhammad Izzuddin bin Roslan, Ismawani binti Ismail, and the last Siti Hajar binti Muhammad Zaki. So we can start now. Perception is a process whereby we try to understand the world around us. This process happens when we start to classify, interpret, and give meaning to the thing that happen around us, as well as to what we see. And then perceptions happens every day, and it can happen at any time. We form perceptions toward our family members, classmates, and colleagues, as well as toward events and things around us. The result of the perception process will definitely be different from one individual to another due to individual difference. Perception can be defined as our recognition and interpretation of sensory information. Perception also include how we respond to the information. We can think of perception as a process where we take in sensory information from our environment and use that information in order to interact with our environment. Have five basic sense. Firstly, touch, sight, hearing, smell, and taste. So the sensing organ associate with each sense and
So I will present about factors influencing perfection. Okay, there are three factors of influencing perfection. The first is perceivers, targets or object, and the third is situation. We will go one by one, and I will explain about perceiver first. Okay, so perceiver is the individual who makes the perfection. Okay, so each individual is different, therefore interpretation is different. So they have a type perfection in a different individual. So among the characteristic, it will influence individual perception. There are four. Okay, so the first is the past experience, the motivation level and motivation drive, attitude and interest, unique individual personality and expectation. So okay, the second is target or object. Okay, object or target, they are items. We will make individual perfection. Okay, so characteristic of the target object affect the perfection. Okay, so the examples like the object examples like the sounds, background, motion, and so on lah. We will intend to make individual perfection. Okay, so uh, the third is situation. So about situation, the situation would be the context in which we see the object or experience the event. So the example is like it is considered the norm to see pious male Muslim dress dress robes, school cap in the mosque. So um, so if the same man wear the robe and skull cap in the hotel, so they may be perceived as officers of the Department of Islamic. So individual will the individual in the hotel have a professions. The man who is dressed robes and skull cap is from the Department of Islamic. Their dress is maybe not suitable in the hotel, so they will get many profession in individual in the hotel. Okay, so the perceiver and the target or object remain the same, but the different situation we change the perfection. Different perfection will change in the different situation. So the man who dress robes and skull cap. So if there is in Islamic program or anything include the Islamic program or anything, so that's very suitable to use robes and skull cap. So when they go to the party uh, or go to the meeting, so the man will change perfection individual. So the individual will think the man is from the Department of Islamic, or they have a different perception of the man, something like that. Okay, so that's all about factors influencing perfection. Thank you.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to Madam Ilyati and my fellow friends. Okay, my name is Muhammad Nazmi and I will presenting on my part about perceptual distortion. Okay, perceptual distortion are incorrect understanding of a perceptual experience, which means perceptual distortion is a lack of correspondence between the way of a stimulus is commonly perceived by an individual who perceives it under given condition. Okay, it is occurs when a person responds it to the stimulus varies from how it is commonly perceived. So it can be either relate to the psychology or sensory disorder, medication or drugs, or the physical damage to the brain or sensory organ. Okay, there are six shortcuts in the perceptual distortion, and one of them is selective perception. Selective perception is when people interpret what they see based on their interest, background, experience and attitude. So any characteristic that make a person, an object or an event stands out increase the probability that will be perceived. For example, if there is rumors going around the office uh, about your organization sales are down, so and that big retrenchment may be coming. Training. Okay, and the next is halo effect. Halo effect is the term used by a psychologist named Edward Thorndike in 1992. Edward Thorndike says that the halo effect is a judgment based on a single striking characteristic such as aspect of dress, speech, posture, or nationality. So the halo effect can be negative as well as positive. For an example, when meeting a stranger, meeting a stranger, it is um, it is a human it is a natural human response to make a judgment on them about what kind of person they are, and whether we like them or not. And the second one is projection. Okay, projection is attributing one's own characteristic to other people. So, which means people who engage in projection tend to perceive the others according to what they themselves are like, rather than according to what they're being observed. So, for example, if you want to challenge and responsibility in your job, you assume that others want it as well. Alright, and the next is first impression errors. It is very common that people evaluate others on the basis of first impression. The evaluation based on first impression may be correct if it's based on adequate and significant evidence. So, since first impression evaluation is not based on adequate information, it may not be true reflection of people being perceived. So this can be corrected by more frequent interaction through erasing first impression, eh, even though it's not that easy. Okay, the next is contrast effect. Contrast effect is an evaluation of a person's characteristic that are affected by comparison of other people recently uh, encountered who rank higher or lower on same characteristic. For example, you may have an experience on giving an oral presentation. If you are the first person to speak, a good presentation by other student before you will probably make you feel that you won't be as good as probably are. Okay, the last one is stereotypes. Stereotype is an assumption that all members of a specific group behave in a similar way as the as they have the same characteristic, which means if the person is not perceived as an individual with specific set of his characteristic, but on the basis of his group characteristic. So, for example, there is a stereotyping on the national level, such as Japanese are industrious, Italian are quick-tempered, and the last is American were said that were ambitious and materialistic.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sifaja binti Mohamad. My metric number is I17202-109. Okay, my part is about managing perceptual distortion. Okay, what is perceptual distortion? Okay, perceptual distortion are incorrect understanding or abnormal interpretation of a perceptual experience. A perceptual distortion occurs when a person responds to stimuli varies from how it's commonly perceived. So how can we avoid perceptions? So there are five ways. Perception can be avoided. Okay, first is having a high level of self-awareness. Second, information from various sources, seeking information from various sources. Number three is being empathic. Number four, helping to rectify incorrect perception. Number four, helping to rectify incorrect perception. Number five is avoiding common perceptual distortion. Okay, we go to point number one. Is about having a high level of self-awareness. Okay, as an individual, we need to be aware of the issues surrounding us. Okay, for example, a manager should not make any negative assumption when an employee is not to submit a report which that employee was supposed to collect from all other employees. Instead, the manager should have a high level of awareness and try to understand the situation. Okay, from the example, we can say that it's very important to us to aware issues surrounding us before making any negative assumption towards someone. Okay, point number two is seeking information from various sources. Okay, before making decision or giving any situation or target, we need to seek and obtain information from as many sources as possible. This practice is necessary to confirm the accuracy of the information. We may be misled and end up making wrong decision. Okay, when we seeking information from various sources, this would allow us to get opinion and viewpoint from different perspective, which will help us to make a reasonable and accurate decision. Okay, that's all. Okay, my third point is being empathetic. Okay, before making any judgment and subsequently making any decision, we have to put ourselves in a particular situation before we act. Okay, for example, a boss has decided to penalize an employee who has been coming into work late by cutting their salary. However, because deciding on this particular action, it will be worse for the boss to put themselves in the same employee's situation. Means like being at the receiving end of pay cut, saying that it will add to employees' burden. So that's, for example, for being empathic. So we can see that the value of empathy is, towards someone is a very important thing. For us to more understanding people deeply from another angle and another situation. Okay, point number four is helping to rectify incorrect perception. Okay, we go through to the example. Okay, the example is that your subordinate was given an opportunity to list the organization brands in Johannesburg, South Africa, due to his outstanding performance during the previous quarter. However, since his departing on Johannesburg in October, his wife and children will remain in Malaysia and only join him during the coming school holiday in November the following years. This situation raised rumors among the employees who start to speculate that he's divorcing his wife. As you aware to actual situations, it is therefore your responsibility to squash these rumors and advise these rumors mongers to focus on work matters, instead non-productive and non-business related matters. That's, for example, for number four. So, okay, what we can say for point number four is when person has negative perception of another individual, and at the same time we know the truth, then it's our responsibility to tell the truth to others. We cannot just be silent. While we already know the truth, because and prevent them to continue speculate and have a negative perception to other individuals, because we have no idea about someone life or something like that. So we cannot, if we know the truth, we have to tell to others and stop for their for this stop their negative perception towards someone. That's all. Okay, my last point is about avoiding common perception dissertation. Okay, all individuals need to ensure that they avoid common perceptual distortions, such as having stereotype views, forming judgment, making decision based on effect characteristic, being selective of information based on only on what will interest them, and comparing one person to another. Okay, what I can say is, um, we have to make sure that we are not someone who likes to judge others blindly, and because it's a very bad habit, and we have to make sure that we don't have a negative perception towards someone. Okay, that's all my point. And my friend will present about Kelly attribution theories.
Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon for my friend and my teacher is Nur Hayati binti Alila. Okay. So firstly, I can introduction my name. My name is Muhammad Izzuddin bin Rozlan. Di nombor menteri I17202108. Okay. So I can present this part is Kelly attribution theory. Okay. 1. People tend to judge or make judgment and assign research to the behavior of older. Okay. 2. It is common for people to observe older people behavior before attempt reasoning to and presume the case of the same behavior. 3. They do so to determine whether the behavior is internal case or external case. For example, Ahad failed to submit a moon report, which is due every 17th of the month in a time manner. Okay, so next, determining the internal or external case. This distinctiveness an individual who read in the smart manner in all the situation. If a person behaves the some way in all the situation, the distribution is low, consistent, consistent. An individual who will give similar reaction as all pupil to the same situation. 3. Consistent. An individual who are just give similar reaction to different situations. Next, self-fulfilling the pragma effort. A self-fulfilling purpose is the tender for someone, expression to case the person to behave in a manner consistent with the appreciation. In a word, a fulfilling tender is a statement which will alter a personal rationale to making the statement come true. For the expression can either be positive or negative. Example, Azara is a sugar and every good every morning at the start of the day. She tell he that today is going to be a good day. She will go so at 3. She will go together the day change with a happy and feeling. This is cancel the primary effort. If Zara start the day off with a negative feeling, for example, oh no, I have 3 majority suggest and my college is on leaving today, so I be in going to be a on train day. She will end up feeling tired. Together, the word they wisdom never friendly. This will lead to low performance and low productive tower word. The negative feeling is called the goal effect. The effect and consumer of funds feeling properties allow manager and leader to create an office every roaming of every roaming which will allow the employment to practice the polygamy effort. This is fundamental as it will lead to better perform and high productive in the organization. So this point. So okay, and in this point, I can pass in my friend. Assalamualaikum. Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Atira Labid Hussein. My matric number is I17203092. Okay, my topic is learning, so I will share the meanings of learning and our subtopic. But before you go, I'm pretty sure all of you know the meanings of learning. But what is learning in our organization behavior perspective? Okay. Learning can be described as an individual reacts to an situation or responds to instruction in particular fashion. That fashion or style is called to learning. And learning also can be described as a behavior which happens all the time. And learning brings relatively permanent change in human behavior that occurs as a result of experience. And learning is a lifelong process in which new behaviors are acquired. Okay, we cannot see learning, but we can see the change behavior as a consequence of learning. For example, like driving a vehicle. Okay, for the next slide, we can see the theories of learning. Okay, there are 3 theories which explain a learning process, which is classical conditioning, operant conditioning, and social learning. Okay, what is classical conditioning? Okay, classical conditioning can be described as a process in which a formally neutral stimulus, when paired with an unconditional stimulus, become a conditioned stimulus that elicits a conditioned response by glucan. Okay, classical conditioning states that an event repeat several times result into the desired response, and under this, we react and respond due to the influence of something external, and it leads us to respond in a specific way of behavior. Okay, the right side are list component of stimulus response, which is unconditional stimulus, unconditional response, conditional stimulus, and conditional response. Okay, the next one is Ivan Pavlov's theory. Okay, we can see Ivan Pavlov's theory that Ivan Pavlov, a Russian psychologist who introduced classical conditioning theory. Okay, experiment conducted, he used dog as a subject, and the stage 1, he presented meat. Okay, meat is referred to the unconditional stimulus. Okay, he presented meat to the dog, and he noticed a great deal of salivation. Okay, salivation is referred to the unconditional response. Okay, for the stage 3, he accompanied the offering of meat to the dog along with ringing up of bell, and after doing this several times, Pavlov rang up only bell without offering of meat to the dog, and this time they celebrated to the ringing up of bell alone. Okay, the next one is okay. Classical conditioning reflect how an organism learn to transfer uh, a natural response from one stimulus to another, and it is association between two stimulus. We can relate our in our daily life, in our organization, that for example, when top management is scheduled to visit a branch ensures that all its employees are appropriately attired. The manager also instructs the security personnel to put on their white glove and to salute all customers entering the main gate. Subsequently, whenever the employees notice the security personnel saluting all cars passing through the main entrance, they change their behavior and adapt to the working hours. They associate the security personnel saluting the cars with visits from the top management. Okay, next we can see the operant conditioning. Okay, operant conditioning can be known as instrumental conditioning. Okay, opera conditioning investigates the influence of some consequence on subsequent behavior, and and investigates the learning of voluntary response. So it is the consequence that follow the response that influence whether the response is likely or unlikely to occur again. And operant conditioning is a powerful tool for people in the organization. Most behaviors in organization are learned, controlled, and altered by consequence, and this consequence will to teach us how to react and behave in the future. Okay, next we can see the table that I list. Operant conditioning have positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, and negative punishment. Okay, positive reinforcement is add or increase a pleasant stimulus. For example, if you do a good job at work and your manager give you a bonus, that bonus is a positive reinforcement. So bonus also can be known as a reward. Okay, negative reinforcement is reduce or remove an unpleasant stimulus. For example, at manufacturing company, employees must attend work 5 days a week and 8 hours a day. However, to encourage greater productivity, a supervisor might reduce work hours for the final week of the month. If employees meet a production goal, they won't have to spend as much time at work. Okay. For the positive punishment, it present or add an unpleasant stimulus. For example, being verbally scolded by your boss or perhaps by your human resource department. Okay, the last one is the negative punishment. Negative punishment is reduce or remove pleasant stimulus. For example, at a customer service center, a worker isn't answering enough phone call, and the boss calls the worker into his office and demotes his pay for his bad performance. So by taking away some of the worker's pay, is referred to the taking away workers' pay is a negative punishment, and the employer is hoping that the employee will improve their work performance. If it doesn't, the employer might try another form of negative punishment, like firing the employee. Okay, the next one is the social learning. Okay, social learning can be described as can be no, not sorry, not be described, can be known as observation learning. Okay, social learning is a learning process where we learn through observation and direct experience, and it is practiced in organization by observing various cultural and social practice. And social learning theory highlight that an individual's behavior is influenced by the environment and characteristics of the person. And in industrial organization, leader must display a role model so that subordinate copy the style of functioning. Okay, we can see the learning involve 4 steps, which is process. Okay, the first one is attention process, is to focus on something or someone. The second one is the retention process, to store information from the observed behavior. And the third one is reproduction process, to perform the observed behavior. And the last one is the reinforcement process, to be motivated to imitate the model behavior. An organization leader needs to shape and mold the behavior of the employee to ensure that the behavior produces expected result according to what the organization want. Okay, for example, in our organization, is an employee can imagine getting a bonus for a creative idea after observing another employee rewarded for doing so. So people imitate that behavior of those they admire or respect. That's all from me. Thank you everyone. Bye.
Okay, next we go to reinforcement schedule, which is there are two types of reinforcement schedule. First, continuous, and second, intermittent. Okay, intermittent. Intermittent means not occurring all the time. Therefore, intermittent reinforcement is in contrast to continuous reinforcement. Through a continuous reinforcement schedule, a desired behavior is reinforced every single time it occurs. This schedule is best used during the initial and early stages of learning, as it helps to create a strong relationship between the behavior and the desired response. Once the response is firmly attached, the reinforcement is usually switched to an intermittent reinforcement schedule. Okay, next we go to the types of intermittent schedule. There are four types of intermittent schedule. First, fixed interval schedule. A fixed interval schedule is when a fixed period of time lapses between the administration of reinforcement. For instance, employees receive their bonuses on every 30th of December of the year. Therefore, the employees will know that on 30th December every year, they will receive their bonus via direct bank in to their bank accounts. This method does not reinforce a positive behavior, but neither will they be punished for not performing. Okay, second, variable interval schedule. A variable interval schedule is that in which a variable amount of time lapses in between the administration of reinforcement. For instance, a manager usually mentions that he will be making surprise checks on the biometric attendance record of all employees in the department. However, he does not say when the checks will be carried out. They may be once every 2 or 6 months. Here, the manager is using a variable interval schedule which will reinforce the employee's behavior of not coming in late and of always being on time. Okay, next we go. Third, fixed ratio schedule. A fixed ratio schedule is when a fixed number of responses must occur between the administration of reinforcement. For example, all sales executives in the marketing department of a property development company are promised an additional for every deals that he closes. Therefore, for every deals that they close, these employees will be given an extra bonus. Okay, fourth or lastly, variable ratio schedule. A variable ratio schedule is when a variable number of responses must occur between the administration of reinforcement. For example, a salesperson in a multi-level marketing company will make cold calls to invite unknown people to attend their sales talk. The salesperson may have to make about 30 cold calls or more before successfully securing an appointment with an interested person to join the talk. In general, or in conclusion, variable schedules tend to lead a high performance as compared to fixed variable schedule. This is because there is a correlation between performance and rewards as compared to the fixed variable schedule. Understanding how an employee learns allow the manager or leader to create an environment which will motivate and push the employee to perform more better. Understanding which method is best to make an employee learn will also allow the manager to plan the training needed for the career growth of the given employee. That's it. Thank you. That's all from us. Thank you.